This is a landmark in the world of sports. Its very name is synonymous with the hard-hitting action of top-level college football. But today, we change the game. This famous gridiron has become a very different battleground. A new breed of athlete will strap on the helmets and pads. While the ground game is fundamental to football success, today that game will be played at mind-boggling speed. And the aerial game, New Year's has never seen long bombs like this at the famed Rose Bowl in Pasadena. The signage in the stadium may look familiar, but no New Year's Day ticket holder would ever recognize what's become of the football field inside. Welcome to the Rose Bowl, where today football hash marks give way to hay bales for round 2 of the World Championship of Supercross. Hi everybody, I'm Mike Joy. The sport of motocross has its origins in Europe. And as the sport flourished in the United States, promoters took the event off the mile-long courses and brought them into these vast arenas, compressing the courses, raising the jumps, and creating the high-flying sport we know as Stadium Supercross. After round 1 in Paris of this $1 million World Championship, French rider David Villone is the series leader. But here in Pasadena, the favorite has to be American Jeremy McGrath. The holder of 6 U.S. Supercross championships in 7 years, he is the one man to beat today. Let's meet him with Ralph Shaheen.
Rarely in the world of professional sports has an athlete truly dominated his sport or been able to attract a crowd like this for an autograph session. In the NHL, Wayne Gretzky, and professional basketball, Michael Jordan, of course, and in professional stock car racing, Jeff Gordon. Well, in the world of professional supercross racing, Jeremy McGrath is definitely the man. A total of 10 supercross championships spread out over the AMA and World Supercross titles, Jeremy. You know, what's it going to take for you to win here today?
Well, the track at Rose Bowl here is pretty similar to most of the tracks. It's quite simple, and you know, there's some passing. I think that the key to winning today is going to be the start for sure.
Now, you have an international field of riders gunning for you here, but you have your home track. Is that going to be all the incentive you need to get a win?
Well, it's kind of like a home race anyways, because you know, a lot of the guys that race the AMA Supercross Series are here, and there's a few European guys that don't normally race with us. So yeah, it's going to be mixed up a little bit, but I think the majority of the front runners today will be the guys I race with all the time. So hopefully I can win.
This World Championship is down to just 3 rounds. You had trouble crashing in Paris. Where are you in the championship chase now mentally? Are you still have a shot at it?
I don't really consider myself to have a shot at the championship. As far as points go, I only got like 2 points, I think, the first round since I crashed out. And I have nothing to lose. I want to go to win.
Here's our CBS race cam mounted on the helmet of Brock Sellers to show us some of the details of this Mark Peters design course. There's the finish line, followed by a 90-degree left, and this long series of jumps leading into the first of the hairpin turns. Quickly out to this long triple jump. Into another left, up and over this tabletop, and into a rhythm section leading to the second right-hand hairpin turn. Another rhythm section of whoops. Then this big tabletop with a decision to make on landing. This inside tight line, or do you take the wide line? Another long triple, a tight hairpin through the alligator teeth, or whoop-de-doos, and a quick turn back and up in the air at the finish line. With just 2 rounds in this championship remaining, the best hopes of America ride on the shoulders of 97 Supercross champ Jeff Emig, who, like McGrath, has a huge following here in the States. The 250s are coming up, but first let's turn to the undercard, the 125cc machines, and we'll show you highlights of their qualifying heats.
Mike, these machines have half the size of the engine, 125s as opposed to 250s. They're a little lighter and very quick, even though they don't have quite the horsepower. They're big brothers.
Suzuki mounted David Pingree, the leader,
with Talon Boland on Kawasaki in second. And here comes Travis Pastrana, 16 years old, to the inside of Boland. Wham, bam, out of here.
Well, Mike, even though we are racing motorcycles, it can become a contact sport in a hurry, and it usually does happen in the corners. Pastrana runs way deep into the corners, trying to get to the inside of Boland, and he just stuffs him right into the bales.
Well, that opens up a nice lead for this man, David Pingree, with Pastrana in second and the Costa Rican rider, Ernesto Fonseca, number 100, in third. And down he goes.
Mike, a rhythm section, a whoop section like this is all about going across the top of the whoops. And you can see the rear tire of Fonseca is trapped in the bottom. You have to really work the throttle through there. He gets the rear end dancing around too much, catches it off the bottom of the whoops, not across the top, and that's what sends it flying.
Well, the rear end starts steering. Gear off the bike. Pingree Suzuki, number 60, goes on to win the first qualifying heat, with Pastrana second, Nick Way third, Fonseca recovers for fourth, Matt Walker and Ryan Clark also transfer. Heat 2, and up front it's Christopher Gosselier from Juniper Hills, California on Honda, along with Donald Upton and Travis Preston, 43.
Mike, you can see that Gosselier took a very aggressive line through the whoop section. You can see he almost gets the front end too far up, coming over the big jumps there. Oh, and a problem here.
That is third place running Preston slamming into Upton.
Very similar to what we saw in heat number 1 with Volan and Travis Pastrana. Basically the same thing. One rider goes to the inside, one rider goes up to the outside. But I love how the number 76 of Upton just steps on over him to get back on the bike.
Up front, Gosselier's been caught by Tyler Evans out of Salinas, California, riding Suzuki number 66. And there he takes the lead.
That was a big handful of throttle, Mike. He knew he had the big berm coming up to keep that momentum going. Sails over the triples and went on for the win.
Isaiah Johnson and Danny Smith second and third on Hondas, but Suzuki's Roger DeCoster on the right, former world champion, happy that he has the first 2 victories of the day. Ryan Hughes getting set for the 250s, and we'll see them when we come back.
CBS Sports Spectacular presents Toyota World Supercross, sponsored by Toyota. On the edge every day. The United States Army, be all you can be. And by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and ATVs.
With a Suzuki RM under you and Team Suzuki behind you, there will be absolutely nobody in front of you. Just ask Suzuki's Greg Albertine, 1999 AMA 250 Motocross National Champion.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena for World Supercross, presented by Toyota. Every section of this track poses a different challenge for the riders and the mechanics who set up their machines. It's a very tough course, but don't underestimate the talent back in that paddock area or the power of the motorcycles. As we get set for the 250cc first heat, Ralph will show us exactly what goes into the making up of a Supercross bike.
A factory-backed Supercross motorcycle is very similar to what you can find on your local motorcycle dealer's showroom floor. The biggest difference is in the price. A Kawasaki like this at your local dealer might run you about $5,500. Here, it's valued at over $40,000. Now, the similarities come according to the rules. The frame, the swing arm, and the engine all have to be the same as what you can buy in the production bike. The biggest difference between the production bike and the factory bike is in the suspension. These front forks will be made of very lightweight materials like magnesium and will have 13 inches worth of travel. A suspension on a factory bike like this could run as high as $30,000. The rear suspension is every bit as high-tech as the front suspension, made of lightweight parts and special valving that allows the riders to fine-tune the bike to their riding preference. The biggest difference in the engine area is in the internals of the engine. The factory-backed Supercross bike will produce in the neighborhood of 50-plus horsepower, whereas your regular production bike will produce closer to 35. You're looking at basically 5 horsepower per pound of weight on the motorcycle. The bikes weigh in at 216 pounds. So basically you're looking at a 300-pound car with a 110-plus horsepower engine. These babies will fly, literally.
Now, compared to the 125cc machines, the 250s are about 20 pounds heavier, 25% more powerful, and in stock trim about $1,000 more expensive. But at that price, you could be regionally competitive in motocross action. There's helmet cam again on Brock Sellards, number 118.
Brock had a national win in the outdoor series earlier this year, Mike, at Washougal. They're trying to get one inside a big stadium here today.
And Mike LaRocco, the Rocket he's called, will also wear our CBS race cam, number 15. As Jeremy McGrath said, the start will be critical because they funnel down into a very tight hairpin from this 19 across start. And we're racing. Big log jam into that first corner. David Vielman is out first, but Ezra Lux, number 7 in red, challenging Vielman through that hairpin.
You can see the difference in lines. Ezra went to the inside, Vielman went to the outside. Mike carried a lot more speed through the banking, was able to fly over the triples like these riders here.
Riding along with Mike LaRocco.
Oh, a lot of contact there as they come over. When they're tight like that, going over the big jumps, not a whole lot of airspace. You don't have any air traffic controllers helping you out here.
David Vielman of France, the World Championship point leader, out in front of the Honda of Ezra Lust, number 7, and Jeremy McGrath on Yamaha, number 6.
Vielman needs to break away, Mike. He needs to get as far away from McGrath as he can, and oh, he misjudged that jump.
Landed that one hard, goes way to the outside, and here comes Lust. Ezra Lust takes the lead from Vielman.
That time the inside line really worked for Ezra, and he was able to get out front.
Now in practice, David Vielman had been using that outside line and that far hairpin and picking up good speed, but after that bad bounce, he was slow on entry and gives up the lead.
Ezra was really working hard in practice, Mike. He was the 3rd quickest rider in the first session, worked on his lines, and came out of the 2nd session as the fastest rider, and you can see it's paying off here.
There's McGrath currently riding 3rd as Lusk extends his lead over French rider and point leader David Vielman. Now McGrath closing in on Vielman here.
Now we go back on board with Brock Sellards, who got a horrible start on his Honda. Dead last as they came out of the gate, but Mike, he's really picked up the pace, and he's picking riders off every lap. He's taken 3 or 4 spots already.
Boy, look at the pounding that he takes on each one of those jumps.
That's where that 13 inches of travel on the suspension really comes into play. Those front forks really taking a beating.
He's up to 13th place. Let's go back up front. David Vielman riding 2nd. Back in January in San Diego, led the first half of the final event at his first U.S. appearance. Professor Gary Bailey watching Ezra Lust lead David Vielman, and Vielman was closing in, but there takes a very wide line through that hairpin.
We've seen those two flip-flopping their lines through some of those corners, trying different lines. It's early on in the race, and Vielman is well within reach of Ezra Lusk at this point, but he knows also that that man, Jeremy McGrath, is right behind him. So Vielman is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's being patient right now.
Jeff Emick currently in 4th place, the leading U.S. rider in the point standings. In 3rd place in the points, and they all chase Ezra Lust. Let's go back on board with Mike LaRocco, who is locked in a battle with Jean-Sébastien Roy of Canada, the Honda rider number 17 in 10th place.
Well, one thing Jean-Sébastien Roy will not be able to do is wear out Mike LaRocco. Mike is one of the fittest riders on the tour.
LaRocco with the inside move there at the hairpin takes the spot away. Of the 19 riders, Mathieu Laloz of France is out of the race, and now you see the leaders getting into lappers. That's Billy Binkley, 194, that they're just moving past, and that's allowed Ezra Lust to expand his lead.
One of the things Ezra is doing very well here today is his body placement. So much of how fast you go, Mike, is how well you use your body. Positioning the bike and your body properly where your body is over the bike as you go through the different sections of the racetrack. Look how smooth he is.
The Japanese rider, Takeshi Koikeda, Yamaha getting overlapped.
One of the fastest Japanese riders ever to come to the States.
Lance Smale and Pierre Paget also being overlapped by this man, Ezra Lusk. And it looks like the front riders have settled into what will be their gate positions for the final.
Top 4 riders are now locked into these 4 slots. They will have their choice of where they want to start on that gate, and that is going to be critical because that first turn is oh so important.
Checkered flag for Ezra Lusk. David Bieleman finishes second. Jeremy McGrath third, and Jeff Emig, number 8, holds off Sebastian Tortelli for that 4th transfer position. Ralph is down trackside with our first heat winner, Ezra Lusk.
Well, Ezra, you got yourself into the final, and you get your choice of the gates. What do you think? How's the track?
Well, I think it's a lot better than what me and Jeremy had to start with way on the outside, you know, but yeah, it's just the way it goes. We didn't ride the first round, so we had to get a bad pick, but track is awesome. Whoops are great, traction's great. Track's a little bit tight, but our bikes are working really good. Honda and Dunlop are working really good together, Fox and Scott.
Is there a key location on this track that's going to make the difference in passing today?
I think if anywhere, it's going to be the whoops, and being really aggressive and just trying to apply a lot of pressure on the guy in front of you, try to make him make a little bit of a mistake.
Mike?
Ezra Lusk, 250 heat winner. The 125s will be out for their feature event next.
Citizens, it has begun. A savage conflict between 2 galactic species. Mankind versus humankind. Do you have what it takes to be an armory? To wear the armor, to wield the weaponry, to take a stand for your world and your species? Armories, the few, the proud, the bloodthirsty.
The conquistadors believed victory was the only acceptable outcome. They rode in white behind shields of armor. In 1999 AD, one returned to Baja with 600 horsemen at his side. Ivan Iron Man Stewart, overlord of Baja.
4 wheels, 2 wheels, all wheels in the air, or no wheels at all. Duke Video's got it. For a free catalog of the largest and most spectacular collection of auto and motorcycle racing videotapes in the world, call 1-800-DUKE-USA now. The best of Formula One, sports cars, motorcycle racing, historic races and documentaries, legendary drivers and riders, extreme videos, rally, over 600 video titles. Call 1-800-DUKE-USA for a free catalog.
Welcome back to Pasadena and the World Supercross Championship. Round 1 in France, round 2 here in the United States, round 3 in Germany. And we're getting set for the final in the 125cc class.
Nick Way on that green Kawasaki, number 23, Mike, one of the young riders everybody expects a lot of.
The field dominated by Suzuki with a sprinkling of Hondas, Kawasaki's, and Yamahas. 16 riders will start.
Mike, you can hear the riders working that throttle, getting ready. They'll be focused on those bars just in front of you. You want to get your revs up high, and as soon as that gate drops, you want to be gone.
They funnel down to the left-handed hairpin that begins the course, and one rider's down.
That's Talon Volan on the Kawasaki.
David Pingree, number 60, out to a good start, and almost lost the lead. Nope, hangs on to it. Pingree battles with Travis Pastrana. Isaiah Johnson is third.
Travis Pastrana loves to fly his motorcycle, so much so that earlier this summer he even launched his bike at a freestyle contest into the San Francisco Bay.
They'll try to stay a little more earthbound here. 58, Danny Smith battles for 4th place.
That was that whoop section where we heard it's going to be a great spot to pass. You really want to drive through those whoops and really put the pressure on your competitor in front of you.
Look at this, 4 different lines through that hairpin. Donald Upton, 76, had trouble, and number 100, Ernesto Fonseca, got through there first.
He did the best job, Mike. He jumped on the brakes, changed his line, and got back on the gas. And look, and he's still passing people anywhere and everywhere on this racetrack.
Fonseca passed Danny Smith, number 58.
Well, that's the sign that this rider is really in tune with his bike. Fonseca is not stuck to one line or another. He's changing grooves all over the racetrack, and that is what it's going to take to win here today. We heard Ezra Lusk say it's a tight track. You've got to be flexible in your lines.
And he got to the inside that time of Isaiah Johnson to move up to 4th.
Look, inside of one corner, outside of another one. Great riding by Ernesto Fonseca.
Meanwhile, on point, David Pingree is locked in a battle with Pastrana, 16 years old, Travis Pastrana, and he is putting it to Pingree here.
One thing everybody's waiting to see out of Travis Pastrana is his consistency when it comes to racing. We all know he can fly a motorcycle better than anybody, but can he beat him on the racetrack? He's got a great move there.
He is a wild man on that thing. He's not riding it. He is launching it and letting it fly.
Well, there is no fear in Travis Pastrana, that is for sure. But look at Fonseca coming on strong.
Fonseca up for 2nd. Moving past early leader David Pingree.
Fonseca is very fast. Now can he run down the high-flying antics of Travis Pastrana?
Pastrana from Annapolis, Maryland, gold medal winner. Oh, and he really took a bounce there and into the hay bale. Here comes Fonseca, side by side.
Well, Fonseca closed up right away, and that's exactly the pressure that he was looking to put onto him, but he just wasn't able to capitalize on it. You can see that Pastrana gets in trouble. The rear wheel kicks out on him. He gets it hung up on the top of the jump, runs into the bales, and that's the opening Fonseca was looking for, but he just couldn't get the pass completed.
You know, despite the bad landing and the trip to the hay bales, look, he stays on the bike.
We talked all day long about the balance of the rider on the motorcycle, positioning your body. You can see as soon as he got out of shape, he got right back up on top of the bike, settled the balance up, evened it up, and was able to keep it under control.
All right, now, Fonseca's in trouble. He is off the bike, and Roy Rogers it right back on.
He's really starting to push hard now. He had seen that opening with Pastrana and is really going after him. You can see he's got the wheel turned as he comes over that jump. All the weight's on the handlebars, and it just pushes that front wheel right up off the jump, and that's where he lost control. It's just pure determination to hang on to the handlebars that kept him going.
All right, Pastrana working some of the lap traffic. He is just all over. Ooh, tough moment there, but he hangs on.
He's pushing hard as well. He had felt that pressure earlier on from Fonseca, so he's going to run it really hard to the finish here, Mike.
A little bit of showboating by Travis Pastrana. 1 foot, no feet on the pegs, checkered flag, and he's our 125cc winner. Here's the battle for 2nd. Fonseca on the left, Danny Smith, down he goes. Smith misses out on a podium finish as David Pingree goes past for 3rd, and Tyler Evans for 4th. Freestyle motocross champion and 5-time amateur outdoor motocross champion, Travis Pastrana is our 125cc winner. He's also ridden his bike on a late show with David Letterman, and now he rides it to the top of the victory podium.
I didn't ride a very smooth race, but it got me to the finish line. It was a lot of fun. So it's like my 2nd ever pro race, first ever 125, and I'm just so excited.
And we'll be back to the Rose Bowl after these messages and a word from your local CBS station.
Hi. Friday's great. Email. It's kind of slow.
Styling, performance, value. Isn't technology great? The Suzuki Katana.
America Online users. For complete football coverage, click on the Sports channel on America Online. Or just enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl, where one of these grade schoolers may grow up to be the next world champion. And right now, that championship point lead is held by David Villemin of France. Let's meet him with Ralph.
David, you come out of the first race with a transfer spot to the main event, but you and Jeremy finished 2nd and 3rd. Everybody expected the two of you to be 1st and 2nd. Are you surprised that Ezra ended up getting the win?
Yeah, Ezra is a very good rider, and always here and always get a good start and pretty fast. So I'm not surprised he's here, and he did a good season here in America. He finished 2nd. So we'll see in Maine. Sure, Jeremy wants to win. Me, I want to win. Also, Ezra wants to win. So it will be a nice race with 20 laps, and I must be relaxed and smooth on 20 laps to be on top.
That's the goal of every rider, to be on top. And it seems today, as soon as kids get the training wheels off their bicycles, they're onto a dirt bike. That's a quantum leap from when Europeans first introduced their sport of professional motocross to America back in 1967. Edison Dye, an American motorcycle dealer, saw the sport on a trip to Europe. He organized a group of European riders to come to the States and introduce the sport to Americans competing in a form of motocross racing called scrambles.
It was a new sport that they had not recognized in this country. People very quickly adopt to things and take on things if they like it, and they sure did over here.
The following year, Dye organized the first motocross series to be held in the States. With a mix of European and U.S. riders, it was a huge success. Fans and riders alike marveled at the Europeans' ability to ride so fast over the rough terrain.
You would watch all of these guys, and you were just in total amazement. Well, then when I finally raced against them, excuse me, I was on the same racetrack as they were. I was just, you know, these guys are almost putting a lap on us. I mean, I'm going, how can this be? I mean, we are, at the time, I'm going to have to say, because I had the #1 plate, I'm supposedly the fastest guy that we've got, particularly on the West Coast. There was Higgins and a few guys on the East Coast. But, you know, I'm supposedly supposed to be the fastest guy, and these guys are making us look ridiculous.
We work with them because we know the motocross, that's difficult, you know. There's so much different courses, and the ground is so different from each race, you know. So you don't go and laugh at somebody who's going out and try motocross. That's difficult.
You know, the first time around, I could write a book about this, how I came to local races where people thought they were going to teach me race a motorcycle or ride a motorcycle. And after the races, they wanted to take the trophies away from me because I was a darn factory rider, as they said. But they very quickly adopted. They very quickly said, can you help us? Can you teach us? Can you tell us what do you do that we are not doing, because we use this kind of racetracks, and now this is, you call it motocross.
The new sport was so successful, the American Motorcyclist Association established national championships in 1972. The popularity continued among fans, and Supercross was born, taking the core of motocross into stadiums across the country and expanding it to include huge jumps and mazes. By the early 80s, the world was taking notice. American riders have become the best in the world.
I think that most of us, especially, you know, what I would consider sort of the brat pack, the beginning of the spoiled, looking at the guys, our founding fathers, that just paved the roads so nice for us to come along and ride the best bikes on the best tracks with all these people taking care of us, making a lot of money. You know, I don't want to get too corny and say how thankful I am to those guys, but without them, we wouldn't have really had the stage that we had to go and show off our talents.
The National Motocross Championship remains the grassroots of this form of pro racing, but Supercross has taken center stage with its high entertainment value and showbiz. During its brief run, it showcased some of the most remarkable athletes the world would ever see, like Hurricane Bob Hanna, Rick Johnson, David Bailey, and the greatest of them all, Jeremy Showtime McGrath. These young, high-flying stars have set a strong example, and they've generated quite a following.
These are the kinds of role models that our youth need. We have done our part. They need to do their part to keep this sport motivated, because my grandson is 6. When he's time to get ready and he's about ready to start racing, he needs to look at them. He won't look at his papa and says, oh, papa was very, very good. He'll look at to whom is really on the top of the sport, the line of their profession, and that's the McGraths and that's the Carmichaels.
Flirty and Ricky Carmichael recuperating from a broken collarbone last week in France as Jeremy McGrath in the 250cc main event lines up.
I was given two hearts. One beats within me. The other, a merciless piece of metal and fire that lurks beneath a hood. Which should I follow? Ivan Iron Man Stewart, Overlord of Baja.
4 wheels, 2 wheels, all wheels in the air, or no wheels at all. Duke Video's got it. For a free catalog of the largest and most spectacular collection of auto and motorcycle racing videotapes in the world, call 1-800-DUKE-USA now. The best of Formula One, sports cars, motorcycle racing, historic races and documentaries, legendary drivers and riders, extreme videos, rally, over 600 video titles. Call 1-800-DUKE-USA for a free catalog.
This is NBA Jam.
There it is.
Questions? Didn't think so.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl in round 2 of the World Supercross Championship. I'm Mike Joy with Ralph Shaheen. For more sports news and information, log on to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online, go to keyword CBS Sportsline. Let's have a look at Larry Ward warming up here for our 250cc final. In the last chance qualifying event, here's Ward, number 3, putting the move to Brock Sellards to win it.
And this is the first race Larry has competed on this Kawasaki. Spent the 1999 season racing on a Suzuki. Basically switched spots with Damon Huffman. Damon moves over to the Suzuki, and Larry will get his feet wet on the new Kawasaki. And he really adjusted well here today, Mike.
So he gets the 5th pick of gate positions. There's his number 3 as we have a look at the starting lineup. Ezra Lusk and World Championship point leader David Villemin of France. Jeremy McGrath and number 3 point man Jeff Emick. Larry Ward, the last chance qualifier winner, and Brock Sellards, both from the U.S. Mike LaRocco and Michael Pichon, number 2 in the points. Ryan Hughes and Sebastian Tortelli, 5th in the standings. Damon Huffman and Pierrick Paget, who is 12th. Jean-Sébastien Roy, who is 10th in the points, and Mathieu Ladoze is 7th. Takashi Koikeda of Japan and Lance Smale. Nicolas Charlier of France, and Billy Binkley.
Mike, again, you got to get ready to go on this start. As soon as that gate drops, you got to be off the clutch and on the gas.
Here comes the logjam. 19 riders aiming for the same hole in turn 1. Everybody's upright.
Look at Villemin come flying over that jump into the big berm.
Villemin battling Ezra Lusk for the lead. Yamaha against Honda.
But Lusk got a great start, Mike, and he's out front, and Villemin is right with him.
Villemin takes the high line around that hairpin. Look at the air he gets, but he has a tough landing and loses 2nd place.
He just came up a little bit short on that jump, and it cost him quite a bit of time.
Jeff Emick moves to 2nd, and now McGrath moving up.
Jeremy got a bad start, Mike, but he is on the gas and coming. Look, he swings way to the outside. Carries a lot of speed through that burn.
Let's have another look here. Look at Villemin on the right side of your screen.
Just comes up short of the jump. You don't want to land in the valley. You want to land on top or on the back side of the jump. He just came up short and landed right in the valley.
Larry Ward there in the midst of it on that green Kawasaki as they chase Ezra Lusk. Ward is 3rd.
There's Larry Ward on that green Kawasaki. Just earlier this winter, Mike, Larry bagged a mountain lion just 1 inch shy of the world record.
1 inch. McGrath almost got him for 3rd. Jeff Emick having a great ride here in 2nd. There's Ward. Larry Ward puts the pressure on as they come to this next hairpin turn.
Remember, he is just getting used to this new Kawasaki and a new mechanic as well. So a lot of things new for Larry Ward here today.
Oh, Emick bobbles. He was in trouble on the inside line, and Ward blasted past him for second.
That's the veteran skills of Larry Ward coming through. Yes, it's a new bike and a new team, but Larry's been on the circuit for a long time, and he can come up to speed real quick.
So Emick drops to third. Here comes Jeremy McGrath, number 6, inside of Emick. Emick comes right back with the speed, and Emick repasses McGrath.
Jeff Emick has a lot to race for here today, Mike. Earlier this summer, he had some off-track problems, lost his factory ride with Kawasaki. He is fighting real hard today, not just to win the race, but to earn his reputation and a factory ride once again. He has got to get that reputation back, and he is doing a wonderful job on this privateer bike today.
He is working hard to hold off McGrath, the favorite coming into this event. There's Ward in second behind Ezra Lusk. And there's Emick, number 8, and McGrath, number 6. Bieleman, number 2.
These two former Supercross national champions, Jeff Emick in '97, and McGrath getting to the inside to take the spot, but Emick comes right back.
Well, McGrath's taking the short route, but Emick's taking the fast route around those hairpins.
Jeremy is doing everything he can to put the heat on Jeffro, but Jeff is not caving in, is he?
Boy, what a great move by McGrath. He just leaped that bike and landed squarely in front of Emick to take the spot away.
One of the things Jeremy McGrath does so well is he sees the whole racetrack. Kind of like Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson. They come down the basketball court, they have good visibility of where all the players are. Jeremy McGrath has the same kind of vision when it comes to where the quick lines are.
So McGrath is third, and look at Emick's number 8, not letting Jeremy get away. And here comes Bieleman. Bieleman is now elbow to elbow with Emick.
Cannot count this rider out at any stage of the game. Look, he takes a quick look over his shoulder to see where Jeff Emick is. Sets his sights now on Jeremy McGrath.
Bieleman was the most aggressive rider in the morning practice, really letting it all out. We're back up front with Ezra Lusk, the leader, taking a lot of air over those triple jumps.
And look how fast Larry Ward is, staying close on that green Kawasaki in second.
McGrath trying to open up an advantage here over Bieleman and Emick. McGrath on the number 6 Yamaha.
Jeremy turned 28 just yesterday. This would be a great birthday present to himself as if he could win here in front of the hometown crowd.
McGrath with a high-flying style, but look at how Bieleman just yanks that bike out of those hairpins.
Here's Larry Ward currently running in second on that Kawasaki, and you'd never know that this is the first night he's raced on this bike. He has spent a lot of time testing with the machine at Kawasaki's private Supercross track down in Corona, California, and he told me earlier today this could be the best combination he's ever had.
Look how close he's gotten to our leader, Ezra Lusk. Ward putting the pressure on.
Larry is very excited about this bike, and this battle for third, Mike, is just as hot as the one for the lead.
Bieleman chasing McGrath, and for the lead, Larry Ward right on the back tire of Ezra Lusk. 8 laps complete. We'll be right back.
With its 32-valve I-Force V8 engine, the Toyota Tundra out-accelerates every other base V8 truck in its class. So we looked for some real competition and ran it against the Lotus in a no-holds-barred quarter mile. Introducing the new full-size Toyota Tundra. Have we gone too far, or have others not gone far enough?
Step up. Learn to see farther. Learn there are teachers who won't allow you to fail. Learn to dance, to draw. Learn that the real challenge doesn't come from the outside, but from within. There's more to you than you ever knew. Be all you can be.
All I need, man, is me, my Suzuki Intruder LC 1500, the open road, and bam, I'm gone. Okay, me, Intruder, windshield, yeah, the open road, and bam, I'm gone. All right. Me, my intruder, windshield, saddlebags. Freedom, man. Bam! I'm gone.
The powerful, comfortable Suzuki Intruder LC 1500. Imagine the possibilities.
Here it is. Me, intruder, windshield, saddlebags, running lights, backrest, a supermodel, a pepperoni pizza.
Welcome back to round 2 of the World Supercross Championship. Round 1 week ago in Paris, won by David Willeman on Yamaha. Round 3 will be held in Germany, and the world champion gets $100,000 from the $1 million total of posted awards. This man, Ezra Lusk, has led since the middle of lap number 1, but Larry Ward has stayed in hot pursuit. It's Honda Red versus Kawasaki Green.
No offense to our two leaders here, but nobody expected these two to be battling for the win here at the Rose Bowl. Everybody expected it to be between Jeremy McGrath and David Willeman, and they're not even in the sight yet.
McGrath runs in 3rd. Willeman is 4th. Jeff Emig and Ryan Hughes.
Big expectation was that Willeman and McGrath would be the two to battle it out for the championship in the AMA's National Supercross Tour in the year 2000. This was supposed to be a preview of that, but from what we're seeing here tonight, Mike, it might be settled between these two for the championship next year as fast as they're looking right now.
Well, Ralph, so far in this event, as he was in his heat, Ezra Lusk has been flawless.
That's been the real key, too, because this racetrack is so tight. We saw it in the 125 main event, too. It's very easy to make a mistake and how quickly somebody can close up on you. If Ezra Lusk bobbles, Larry Ward is in a key position to capitalize. One of the things you'll see the riders do when they go over the big jumps is control the flight of the bike. Watch as they go over the triple. They will lock up the rear wheel when they're ready to bring the bike down, or they will panic rev the throttle to keep it in the air just a hair longer. That way they can place the landing of the bike a little bit.
Well, now Ezra Lusk is beginning to get into the lappers as we go back and pick up the battle for 3rd place. McGrath number 6, Willeman number 2, both on Yamahas. Now Willeman has a height and perhaps a strength advantage over McGrath, and you see the difference in the way the two wrestle those bikes.
The one thing Jeremy has is incredible natural skill. He is in the same league as a Michael Jordan or a Wayne Gretzky, as we said at the beginning of the show. Absolutely God-given talent that everybody else, they might work real hard, they might practice a lot, but Jeremy McGrath just has a truly God-given talent.
Well, Ezra Lusk is certainly making the most of his. He said before the race that his plan was just to be consistent, not make any mistakes, and he's doing just that. Now, how aware is he of the presence of Larry Ward?
Well, of course, they don't have any rearview mirrors, so he can't see him behind him. There is one section on the racetrack where the mechanics will stand and they will hold up a signboard and give their rider an indication as to where the closest competitor is.
Jeff Emig and Mike LaRocco, number 15, now battle for 5th place.
The other thing, Mike, is you can hear the competitor behind you and you can actually feel him as he starts to get closer to you. You'll hear that bike coming up alongside you and you'll feel the rider's presence, and then you have to adjust your line.
LaRocco took the inside on that last hairpin, and look at the distance it cost him as Emig took the high road.
You got to get a good drive out of the corners. Supercross races are won from corner to corner. You have to have that short burst to the next section to get yourself pointed back in the other direction. That's where you win or lose these races. You saw him slip coming out of the turn, and he lost a lot of ground.
This man is trying to win his first one, and Larry Ward is the fellow trying to deny him. It's still Honda versus Kawasaki at the front of this, followed by the two Yamahas.
Ezra doing a wonderful job of being very consistent here tonight. That might be one of the areas where he's been a little bit shaky in his career, not having consistency night in and night out. We've seen that with Jeremy McGrath, where nowadays some of the younger riders might be quicker than Jeremy on a particular given night, but over the course of an entire Supercross season, that's where nobody can catch Jeremy. He doesn't make many mistakes, and over the course of the season, he just piles up lots of points.
Well, points are one thing that Ezra Lusk does not have going in his favor. He did not race in Paris October 2nd, so has no points for the World Championship coming into this round. He did win 5 U.S. Supercross events last year on a Honda and has been series runner-up to McGrath both of the last 2 years. Let's pick up this battle for 5th place between Jeff Emig, number 8, and Mike LaRocco, number 15.
Jeff Emig, the only man outside of Jeremy McGrath to win an AMA Supercross National Championship in the 90s.
Down goes LaRocco.
Mike, one of the things you have to do is be able to deal with the ruts, and this one catches Mike LaRocco. You'll barely see it in the shadows here. Right there, he lands with the front wheel in it. It sets him up wrong, and it shoots him as he gets back on the gas, right off line and into the bales.
LaRocco right back on it, and back on the course, but he has lost a position to Sebastien Tortelli and Michael Pichon of France.
Ezra Lusk is doing the one thing he has to do, and that is not make a lot of mistakes here tonight. He's been very smooth, and Larry Ward just has not been given anything to capitalize on yet.
So two riders who don't yet figure in this World Championship point standing are looking at the top two spots on the podium. Lusk leads Ward and McGrath.
I've been racing since I was 3. I'm a pilot. I like to fly a little bit.
No matter what, we want a Honda up front.
I just feel like I'm on the right team and on the right place. Je m'appelle Sébastien Tortelli. Je cours pour le team Honda.
I guess you could say I was just a little bit hairier than the other kids. They said I was hairy like a bear, and then I was Yogi Bear, and now it's just Yogi.
Try not to think about who's behind you. You know, you try to always race in front of you.
You feel like you can be free.
CBS Sports Spectacular presents Toyota World Supercross, sponsored by Toyota, on the edge every day. Acclaim, Save the Earth in Our Marines, Project Swarm for the Nintendo 64 and Sony PlayStation, and by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl for the closing laps of round 2 in this World Supercross Championship. Watching Larry Ward, number 3 on Kawasaki, trying to hold off Yamaha's Jeremy McGrath as they both chase Ezra Lusk, Honda mounted, and now working lappers.
Nothing has phased Ezra at all here in the Rose Bowl. No lap traffic, no pressure from the guys chasing him. He's done a great job at just staying focused and picking good, quick, fast lines.
And really, Ralph, it looks as if the traffic has been the difference between he and second place rider Larry Ward.
You have to be able to react quickly to the riders in front of you. Change your line if you have to. Get on the gas, get on the throttle, whatever you need to do. Get on the brakes and alternate your line. And Ezra's been great at that tonight.
Meanwhile, Jeremy McGrath is closing up on a pack that is led by number 3, second place Larry Ward.
The longer this race goes, the quicker Jeremy McGrath is getting. He has really reeled in Larry Ward. And you know, Mike, I spoke with Jeremy earlier today. We had a long conversation about being a superstar in the sport of Supercross racing. And he is very, very comfortable and welcomes being a role model to younger kids. Loves it.
McGrath closing in on Ward. Lusk out in front with the lead. You saw that flash of green behind him, and that is Ward in second place. Within sight, but not quite within striking distance.
I think at this stage of the race, the bigger challenge for Larry Ward is going to be holding on to second and keeping Jeremy McGrath at bay as opposed to catching Ezra. I think that's going to be the tougher challenge.
Last lap for Ezra Lusk. After 20 laps on one of these bucking Broncos, how about the fatigue factor?
Well, that's what we're going to find out here is who's in the best shape. Jeremy McGrath did not contest the Outdoor Nationals like a lot of the other riders, so he's still getting back into race shape. But look at these two up front, are very strong, and it looks like maybe Larry Ward might be able to mount a challenge here.
He was blocked by one of the lappers there, but now closes up. This is the final lap, last chance for that green machine, number 3 of Ward, to try and get past Ezra Lusk for maximum points and dollars. But he's running out of time. Checkered flag. Ezra Lusk is the winner in Pasadena.
And it's a great ride, too, for Larry Ward coming home second in that first time out on that Kawasaki.
David Bieleman of France comes across the line in fourth behind Jeremy McGrath, and he will hold the World Championship point lead going to Leipzig, Germany, and the final round. But here in Pasadena, it's American riders 1, 2, 3, Lusk, Ward, and McGrath, with Honda atop the podium, Kawasaki second, and Yamaha third. So let's meet our Rose Bowl Supercross champion Ezra Lusk with Ralph.
Well, Ezra, congratulations on a great ride. Tell me about the moves to get the win. Did it all start at the start?
It all started at the start. We've been working really hard on the CR250 Honda. New 2000 model is just awesome. I think Honda's always had the reputation of having one of the gnarliest motors and the best pulling bikes, and we're just trying to find ways to tame her down and make it a good rider, usable bike, and just really good around the whole track and not just all the horses.
Once you got out front, though, nobody seemed to be able to catch you. Was there something you found on the track that gave you an edge?
Well, actually, I had to change a couple lines in the whoops. I had to change my line in the back section. I had to change the way I was jumping through that section because it got a little too choppy, and me and Jeremy were the only ones doing this one quad back in the back, and I think he didn't do it either in the main because it got too rough. And I just had to move over and change it a little bit, and I think I lost a little bit of time early on to Larry, but all in all, I rode a really consistent race and finished off Larry there at the end.
U.S. riders take down 7 of the top 10 positions. Mike LaRocco recovered for 7th, the Frenchman's Tortelli and Pichon 8th and 9th. Well, let's go back down to the podium where Ralph has caught up with Larry Ward.
Well, Larry, you end up coming home with a second place finish, but you chased him hard. What made the difference?
You know, he got a really good start, and can't say enough about this Kawasaki. I told you this was a learning period, first time on the bike, and it gives us a lot of confidence to build on between now and January. So, like I said earlier, we're looking forward to Team Kawasaki having a great year.
With this World Championship Series 2/3 complete, David Villemin of France has now opened up a 7-point lead on the new second-place man, Jeff Emig of the United States. He's with Ralph.
Well, Jeff, with a 5th place finish, you are now second in the World Supercross point standings, and you are going to go off to Germany. What's it going to take to wrap this title up?
Well, I think it's going to take a lot better ride than what I put out tonight. First practice, I was real fast, and kind of as the day went on, I just got a little bit slower. And then in that main event, I just didn't really ride that the EdgeSports.com backed Yamaha like I wanted to. I can tell you, after I got finished with the race, I mean, I just, you know, I don't know exactly why I rode like I did, but it definitely wasn't my best effort.
Next on CBS Sports, an NCAA hoop doubleheader. The Michigan State Spartans tangle with Arizona's Wildcats. Then Duke's Blue Devils battle the Michigan Wolverines. For Ralph Shaheen, this is Mike Joy saying so long from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, where Ezra Lusk has won the U.S. round of the World Supercross Championship. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.